That's by fostering empathy, critical thinking, and personal development and identity. Cultural education, social cohesion, economic and social progress, academic success, inclusive learning, foster safer, more supportive classroom environment. Marginalized students can engage actively. Achievement gaps, academic success, cultural education, burden and understanding. Work preparation, equip student with a highly adaptable socio-economic the cultural and creative sectors heavily rely on this education, economic and social purpose. Equip students with a highly adaptable socio-economical skills, economic and social progress. So cultural education to be social progress, academic success, creative economic growth. Creative sectors heavily rely on this acquisition background, employing millions of young people worldwide. Creativity, highly adaptable socio-emotional skills. Inclusive learning, foster a for more environment where marginalized students can inclusive learning accreditation fosters for more supportive classroom environment where marginalized students can engage actively, ultimately reducing achievement gaps. Broadens and understanding the historical. Tolerance and compassion foster a deep understanding of different. Foster a deep understanding of different backgrounds, reducing prejudice and encouraging social tolerance. Social cohesion and tolerance and compassion foster a deep understanding of different backgrounds, reducing prejudice and encouraging social tolerance. Social tolerance. Deep understanding of different backgrounds, reducing prejudice, tolerance and compassion. Personal development, sense of belonging, connect individual to their community and heritage. Users to the community, which builds self-esteem and strong personal identity. Provides strong moral compassion, values, and exposing students to a rich diversity of human. Cultural education transforms learners by fostering empathy, critical thinking, and a strong sense of identity, creating inclusive environment, prepare individuals. Workforce preparation, give students and highly adaptable social emotion skills, providing a students with the same resources. Same resources and opportunities, aiming for uniformity. exact same resources and opportunities. Equity recognizes the students have different backgrounds and needs, meaning resources are distributed according to individual circumstances to ensure fair outcomes. The opportunity aiming for uniformity. Equity recognizes the students have different backgrounds and needs, means resources are distributed according to individual circumstances to ensure fair outcomes for everyone. Meaning resources, individual circumstances. Quality. Focus on the treating every learners exactly focus. Focus on treating every learner exactly the same. Focus. Treating every learner same. Actually, example include provide exact same textbook, funding or classroom. Technology to every single student. Limitation. It assumes a level playing field because the students start with varying abilities. Socio-economic, सामाजिक अर्थनीतिक challenges. Uniformity can actually leave some another. Equity fairness. Focuses on giving every learner exactly. Example include personalized learning plans, assistive technology for students with disabilities, or targeted tutoring for those falling behind. Examples include personalized learning. Example include personalized learning, assistive technology for students with disabilities. Example include assistive technology, students with disabilities. Equality of disability target tutoring for those integrated education. Equality means providing all students with the exact same resources. Equality means providing all students with the exact same resources. Equality means providing all students with the exact equality means aiming for uniformity. Equity recognizes students have different backgrounds, meaning resources are issued according to individual circumstances to ensure fair outcomes. Treating every learner exactly the same. Involves establishing clear, coordinated, and transparent communication. Social crisis involves establishing clear, coordinated, and transparent communication. Clear, coordinated, and transparent communication. Effective approaches include timely initial messaging, immediate and transparent communication. Managing a social crisis involves establishing a clear, coordinated, and transparent communication. Managing a social crisis. Establishing clear, coordinated, and transparent communication. Timely initial messaging to prevent speculation. Managing a social crisis. Clear, coordinated, and transparent communication. Manage social crisis. इसके in three activities. Social crisis को immediate transparent communication, स्वच्छ communication जोगाजोग, centralizing information, continuous sentiment monitoring, sentiment, social listening tools, purpose, centralizing information, action, dedicated, easily updated crisis, social crisis. Actually, social crisis, centralized information, transparent communication means since silence allows the action, the issue short, clear message acknowledging the crisis across all active channels. It mitigates false information. Situation is being taken seriously. Silence allows speculation to fill the void. Action issue short, clear message acknowledging the crisis across. Immediate ସାମାଜିକ ସଂକଟ ପରିଚାଳନାରେ ସ୍ପଷ୍ଟ ପ୍ରଭାବଶାଳୀ ଉପାୟଗୁଡ଼ିକ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଅନୁମାନକୁ ରୋକିବା ପାଇଁ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ସଂକଟ ପରିଚାଳନାରେ ସ୍ପଷ୍ଟ ପ୍ରଭାବଶାଳୀ ଉପାୟଗୁଡ଼ିକ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଅନୁମାନକୁ ରୋକିବା ପାଇଁ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ସଂକଟ ପରିଚାଳନାରେ ସ୍ପଷ୍ଟ ସମନ୍ୱିତ ସ୍ୱଚ୍ଛ ଯୋଗାଯୋଗ ସାମାଜିକ ସଂକଟ ପାଇଁ थ्री एक्टिविटी मैनेज सोशल क्राइसिस को जोगाजोग स्थापन सामाजिक संकट को स्पष्ट समन्वित ट्रांसपेरेंट कोऑर्डिनेटेड और ट्रांसपेरेंट कम्युनिकेशन दरकार प्रभावशाली उपाय मध्य अनुमान को रोकिया सूचना केन्द्रीभूत करने और परिस्थिति सृष्टि होगा सहित प्रतिक्रिया को सजाड़ा The purpose it ensures stakeholders media सूचना केन्द्रीभूत करने द्वंद्वपूर्ण विवृत्ति द्वंद्व और अविश्वास सृष्टि करे कार्य को उत्सर्गित सहज अपडेट होता संकट समस्त अंशीदार गणना माध्यम ये नेता मान संकट क्यों दिग गुड़ सब अधिक कष्ट सूचना केन्द्रीभूत करवा लिखित अपडेट निरंतर भावना निरीक्षण संकट समय जनमत और भावप्रवण प्रक्रिया गुड़ी द्रुत गति विकसित हुए एक्चुअली कंटिन्यूअस सेंटिमेंट मॉनिटरिंग पब्लिक दुई हूँ सेंट्रलाइजिंग इनफॉरमेशन टू फास्ट स्वच्छ जोगाजोग इनफॉरमेशन वन तुरंत स्वच्छ जोगाजोग वन इमीडिएट ट्रांसपेरेंट कम्युनिकेशन साइलेंस दरकार दुई सेंट्रलाइजिंग इनफॉरमेशन स्टेटमेंट थ्री कंटिन्यूअस सेंटिमेंट मॉनिटरिंग पब्लिक ओपिनियंस जनमत एंड सूचना केन्द्रीभूत करवा सेंट्रलाइज इनफॉरमेशन इमीडिएट ट्रांसपेरेंट कम्युनिकेशन साइलेंस अलाउ स्पेकुलेशन ସ୍ୱଚ୍ଛ ଯୋଗାଯୋଗ ନିରବତା ଅନୁମାନକୁ ଶୂନ୍ୟସ୍ଥାନ ପୂରଣ କରି ଅନୁମତି। ଯଦି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସମସ୍ତ ତଥ୍ୟ ନାହିଁ, ଶୀଘ୍ର ସ୍ୱୀକାର କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ। ଏଇ ସହଜ ରଖିବେ, ଏଇ ସହଜ ରଖିବେ। National integration, national integration in the psychological, political, and social process. Psychological, political, and social process of uniting diverse groups within a country into a single cohesive society. It fosters a shared sense of national identity. Prioritize nation's welfare over a narrow regional national integration in the psychological, political, and social process. Encouraging and citizens to prioritize the nation's welfare over narrow regional linguistic. National integration is the psychological, political, and social process. Uniting diverse groups within the country into a single cohesive society. It fosters a shared sense of national identity. Psychological ଗୋଟେ ମନସ୍ତାତ୍ତ୍ୱିକ, political ରାଜନୈତିକ, social uniting diverse groups within a country into a single cohesive society. Fosters shared sense of the national identity, sense of and belonging, encouraging citizens to prioritize the nation's welfare over narrow regional linguistic and religious interest. Narrow regional linguistic and religious interest. It fosters a shared sense of national identity and belonging. Encouraging citizens to prioritize the nation's welfare. And belongings. It fosters a shared sense of national identity. Belonging, encouraging citizens to prioritize the nation's welfare over narrow regional and linguistic. Narrow regional, linguistic, and religious interest. Over citizens prioritize. Co-dimension, psychological, developing strong emotional bond of feeling and oneness with fellow citizens. Often described as unity and diversity. Strong emotional bond. Oneness in the country, emotional bond. Political, establishing a unified state. All individuals are governed by single constitution, enjoying equal rights, equal opportunities regardless of background, promoting a harmony, mutual respect, and cooperation across different communities, ethnicities, and cultures. Promoting harmony, mutual respect, cooperation, political strong emotional bond and feeling of oneness. Fellow citizens, often described as unity and diversity. Stability and peace, mitigates internal conflicts, reduces inequalities, maintaining social cohesion and public order. Progress and development. Progress and development. The United Nations it mitigates internal conflicts and reduces inequalities, maintaining social cohesion and public order. It mitigates internal conflicts, maintaining social cohesion and public order. reduce inequalities, maintaining social cohesion, progress and development. The United Nations stability, progress and development. A United Nations can better pool the resources and focus on shared economic and social goals. Sovereignty. Strengthen the country's defense against external threats. Helps it stands firm on global platforms. Sovereignty. It strengthens the country's defense against external threats and helps it stands firm on global platforms. Sovereignty. It strengthens the country's defense against external threats and helps firm on global platforms. Defense. It strengthens the country's defense against the external threats. Sovereignty. Threats. United Nations can be better pool common challenges. Communalism, casteism, prejudice or conflicts based on the religion, caste or race can deeply fracture a society. Prejudice or conflicts. Communism, casteism, religion, caste, race, regionalism, linguism. Excessive bias towards one region. Language can cause friction with national goals. Fraction. Socio-economic disparities. Severe wealth gaps and lack of equal opportunities breed resentment and division. We rely on the unifying elements like national anthems, flags, emblems to build a shared identity. Education is widely considered a primary driver in the process as teaches tolerance, secularism, and historical awareness. Aesthetics is the branch of philosophy systematically explores the nature of beauty, art and taste. Philosophy. Darshan. Its essence lies examining how humans perceive the world. What makes experiences and objects beautiful and valuable? How evaluate, create, and interpret works of art. Aesthetics philosophy breaks down into those primary areas of focus. Aesthetics philosophy breaks down primary areas of the focus. Objective equality. Plato. Definition of art. Fundamental question about what sets of work. Nature of beauty. Actually, aesthetics is a branch of philosophy. Beauty. We have debate whether beauty is an objective quality inherent in the object. Inherent with object beauty. Subject or experience that exists purely in the mind of observer. Immanuel Kant. The definition of art. Fundamental question about what sets of work of art. Theories investigate whether art should be valued. Judgment of a taste. It evaluates how and why we form preferences. Aesthetics experience. Disinterested. We enter when appreciating art of nature.
루시, 백조, 어려부터, 백조, 서서, 원어노, 박자, 백서, 여, 잡고, 쳤다, 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 걸어, 태구와, 뭔가,
Judgment of taste. It evaluates how and why we perform form preferences.
또, 머리,
Value standard of criticism exists. Aesthetics experience. It explores the unique, often disinterested state of mind
뭔가, 저,
we enter when appreciating art of nature,
너로, 나와,
focusing on the sensory and emotional value. Sensory rather than practical utility. Fundamental questions about what sets up work of art apart from everyday. Here is investigate whether art should be valued for just a work of art apart from everyday. Here is investigate. पानी गरम करी पके दे
କଣ କହୁଥିଲୁ କହିବି
पानी दे
ଗରମ ପାଇଁ
interested state of mind we enter when appreciating art of nature focusing on the sensory and emotional value. It explores the unique disinterested state of mind we enter when appreciating art of nature. It asks fundamental question about what seeks. There is investigate whether art should be valued. Yes, sir. How individual? Actually, how individual express himself through art. Art serves universal language that allows individuals to bypass the limitation of words. Without words, you can converse through techniques like color choice, melody, movement, people, paintings, express, men say many things without words. We can understand, seeing the images, arts, externalize their inner worlds, process complex emotions, communicate their unique identities. Art provides a safe, constructive way to process visual communication. Painters and sculptors use elements like color, narrative and storytelling. Writers and musicians use lyrics, poetry, and sound to tell stories. Embracing authenticity. The goal of self expression is not necessarily technical perfection, but personal truth. Focusing on the creative process allows individuals to block out external judgments. Narrative and storytelling. About their life experiences, struggles, and triumphs. The goal of self-expression is not necessarily technical perfection. Focusing on the creative process. Express himself through art. Express करिए. Painters or sculptors use elements like color, line to convey meaning. Bold reds can represent anger. Bold red, rally, while fluid wavy lines might reflect calmness, shanta, melancholy. Wavy lines, fluid wavy lines, white, bold reds, narrative and storytelling. Writers and musicians use lyrics, poetry, sound to tell stories, experiences, struggles, and triumphs. Writers and musicians use lyrics, poetry, and sound to tell stories. Embracing authenticity. The goal of self expression is not necessarily but personal truth, focusing on the creative process. Embracing self expression is not necessarily technical perfection. Writers and musicians use lyrics, poetry, and sound to tell stories about the life experiences. Painters and sculptors use elements like color. Art provides safe a constructive way to process grief, joy, anger, or anxiety. The act of creating is inherently therapeutic and cathartic. Emotional outlet. Art provides a safe, constructive way to process intense feelings. Visual communication. Painters and sculptors use elements like color and line to convey meaning. Narrative and storytelling. Life experiences, struggles, and triumph. Writer, musicians, lyrics, poetry, and sound to tell stories. Embracing authenticity. Art. Individual express himself through art. Goal of self-expression, not a technical perfection. Writers and musicians use lyrics, poetry, and sound to tell stories. As lyrics, poetry, about the life experience, struggles, triumph, lyrics, poetry, sound. This is the art also. Art provides a safe, constructive way to process intense feelings, grief, joy, anger, anxiety. The goal of self-expression is not necessarily technical perfection, focusing on the creative process.